Good morning and welcome to My Pagan Path Works. My name is Lisa and I am the founder of the channel. If you are new here, I invite you to like and subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. I thank you for joining me again. So in today's video, it's probably one of the more difficult topics for me to talk about. I have been really struggling as a whole lately. However, part of the reason why I created this channel to begin with was to share my path with you and my progress along the path, and that's good, bad, and indifferent. And so while this is not really a bad thing, it has been something that I have really, oh, pardon me, really been struggling with lately. And so I wanted to talk about it uh, with you, um, just to share. So in case somebody else out there is going through the same thing, you know that you are really not alone. And so basically what's happening in my life right now is that I am transitioning from the mother stage of my life into the crone stage of my life. And some of this happened rather abruptly. And so I have been struggling to deal with this over time. And so let me explain a little bit what's happening. Okay, so my daughter's children uh, used to come here every day after school, and we would take care of them until she got off of work, or her fiance came and got them to bring them home. Either way, they were here every day. And then when the pandemic came, that stopped very abruptly. So that was part of a transition that came very suddenly. And then a couple of months back, my oldest son, who is disabled and has a child of his own, he moved to his dad's, and so I suddenly found myself with a very emptiness where I had no grandchildren to care for, and it just left really big gaps in my life, and those gaps allowed some really heavy duty loneliness coming in. And so I've really had emptiness syndrome as a result. And so the most difficult part of this transition is for me is to realize that, you know, this time in my life, the people that I have been closest to, and I don't, and in my blog I kind of said that they've outgrown me, and in some respects maybe so, but when they've progressed enough in their own life where I am not vitally needed anymore, then I've done my job, really. And they and now it's a it's got to the time in my life where I need to focus on myself. And so it's difficult for me because I'm going through a period of life where I I haven't liked myself at all because I have not I don't like my life. And though God knows I have a ton of stuff to be grateful for, there was a lot of things that went wrong, and I made a lot of bad decisions, and I put myself in a precarious situation where I am dependent on someone else for a living. And so I have not liked myself because I have made some really bad decisions. And so my spirit guides, who have my best interest at heart always, as and they've been prodding me a lot lately. I have to admit that even though I've done my best to ignore them because I've just been so angry at a lot of different things that, but they've been prodding me that now is the time to take care of myself. Now is the time to decide what it is I want to do with the rest of my life. If I'm looking towards my family ties to provide me with happiness, then I'm going to be disappointed because A, it's not their job to make me happy, and B, those family ties, that although they're still there, they are not bound as tight as they used to be. And I need to be building a life that's going to make me happy and is going to sustain me as a human into the Crone stage of my life. And at the Crone stage of my life, children are not my focus anymore. I have progressed past the mother stage. it's it's been I guess it's been a shock to me because when people think of Crohn's, they think of these little old ladies, that have all the wisdom in the world, and that's not always what that means. Um, it in paganism, the maiden mother crone, there's stages in a woman's life that doesn't necessarily have to do with her chronological age. I have really pardon me, I have reached the middle stage of my life. Age-wise, I will turn 53 this year. But in terms of where I am in terms of commitment, then I have reached a stage in my life where I'm transitioning out of mother stage and out of the children are no longer my focus, and I have not really known how to cope with that or how to deal with it, and it has invited in some really heavy duty loneliness. And so I guess my takeaways from this are it's really important not to ignore your spirit guides. um and I do it frequently, and I always regret it later. I mean, what they're trying to help you for one thing, and to make your transitions in life a lot easier, and to help your journey. Okay. God, oh, apologize. I have not been sleeping well. I have been awake 2 or 3 times in the night. Um, so I guess I have lived my life up until this point, and according to the norms of society and what you're supposed to do. And for the first time in my life, I'm being called to ask what it ask myself what it is I want to do. Um, where is it that I'm going to be happiest? I've been called outside of my little hermitage that I have hidden myself away in, because basically it's, there's the world is the only place left to explore, really. When you uh, when home life is no longer your focus, the world is the only place left to explore. And honestly speaking, my higher power has been calling me to get out into the world anyway, and I have not answered her call. I've been very resistant to doing that because I didn't feel like I was ready to be out in the world anymore. I don't trust people very much anymore, to be honest, but and because I have problems liking myself, I I feel like it would put me in a very vulnerable position to be out in the world, because what I'm going to attract is maybe not in my own best interest. Um, so for right now, I think those the walls that have been put in front of me will stay there, because my higher power is, she's pretty much demanding that I learn how to love myself and how to take care of me and make myself my focus, because I have no children to take care of. Um, my parents are elderly, and they do require my help sometimes, but not like a child. And so it's going to be a hard transition for me to focus on myself, because I don't always like what I see. And so I suppose that is my path right now, is to learn how to love me no matter what I look like, no matter, you know, just to be able to love myself and to value myself as a human being, because I can't go forward and I can't begin to build a new life that is more fulfilling than the one I have right now unless I first love myself. It's a paradox. I don't like my life that I've built, so I didn't like myself because I didn't like my life. But I can't build a new life that I will like better unless I first like myself. It's the basic law of attraction at work here. It it it's foundational and it's important, and I've been very resistant to working on this, because it, I don't even know the reason why. I just have a hard time trying to learn how to love myself. I can love other people. I just have a hard time loving myself. And unfortunately, until I learn to do that, the walls are just going to stay there, and there's not going to be any more forward progress, and until I learn how to do this. So I'm sharing this with you because partly because I think it's important, for others who come after me that are experiencing the same thing, to know that you're not alone. And and because I look a little bit draggled in my videos. It's like, man, y'all, I'm just struggling and I'm working on it. So I do hope that somehow these videos help somebody, because that is my ultimate goal. Is I just want to help those that need it, and by the same token, maybe help myself do a little better. So if you've made it this far, I thank you so very much for watching, and I hope that you will join me next week for another video. Have a great day.